Hi Nick, thanks for joining today. How are you?
Very well, Becky. Thank you for having me.
Good, good. So I'm recording some short interviews with my power team. So it's focused at new and aspiring developers who may never have used a construction project manager before. So it's just a brief introduction. So let's get started. So I'm a project manager, but I'm not a construction project manager. So can you just give an overview about your background, any qualifications?
Okay, so my background was I worked through the construction trades and the construction management program, if you like, of a national house builder. I worked with them for 11, 12 years and built up a sort of knowledge of the construction management process, the safety involved, the process of the construction, the phases of build and the scheduling and things like that. And through that, I built up a network of people to use, teams that I could rely on, and places to go and solve problems effectively. And that's how I sort of grew my knowledge and the sort of infrastructure that I needed to be able to come and do this privately.
Great. So if I'm a residential developer, maybe I'm looking to do a new build house or an office conversion, at what part of the project would I involve you and how would that process work?
If you're going to be working with a project manager, you want them almost from after you've got the point where you're actually going to go with the deal. So let's say you've analysed the deal, you know that you're at a relative level where you're going to make some money and you've sort of got some idea on how you're going to put that all together and you've got that in hand. You want that project manager to start from that point and know all the ins and outs of that site. So be able to help you with the feasibility and say, well, actually, if you were to change this and do that and look at this process, you could set up the process in the correct manner from the word go and hopefully save yourself a lot of time, effort, and resources that will obviously make you a lot more money and try to control things in a better manner.
Great. So if we imagine the project is up and running and the site is working, so what would an average day look like for you?
Okay, so there's different ways that a project manager can work. I work in the form of, I run a number of sites and I have site project managers who run the site for me. So I don't necessarily work in a site environment. So for me, I'm dealing with people for different sites all day long. I'm dealing with people for a number of things like funding, legal, my clients and end users, and the guys are actually on site who need any help and backup. So my day can vary entirely from hour to hour and location to location. Sometimes I'll have a nice clean day, I call it, where I'm working in my office. I might have some estimates to put together. I might be planning some stuff and putting some programs together. But I might have another day where I'm out on site all day, hopping from site to site, checking works that are ongoing, making plans for the next weeks, months coming, liaising with different suppliers or architects or designers of different nature, like structural engineers, things like that. So my day varies entirely depending on what's needed. Sometimes you have things that are just on the go and are sort of progressing nicely, and you just gently sort of look after them from afar. Sometimes you need to be really hands-on and solving a problem there and then, because if you don't, it's going to cost you in a bigger picture.
And are there any projects, or what size of project would warrant bringing a construction project manager on board?
It depends on your level of experience, but you could take someone on to do a 10 grand refurb up to a £10 million job. It depends on what you need for your own personal circumstances. If you've never done a 10 grand refurb, then that might be quite a daunting thing to you. And you might need someone who's just going to come in every 2 to 3 weeks and just give you a sort of arm around the shoulder and make sure you're okay with it and help you with the process of managing it or setting the site up. So let's say you have a small refurb and you are not confident in your own abilities to instruct the builder correctly, and the building contractor needs some guidance on how to do certain things, and you don't perhaps know the exact way of doing it, and you want to work through options with someone who's an intermediary, someone who's perhaps done this before but isn't guided by the builder's monetary element or your monetary. Someone will sit in the middle and go, right, well, this could, and it's looking after your interests. So you can use someone like myself on any level of project, but it's whether you feel the need for it or not. You know, you may use someone to do, like myself, to do a project, but maybe going forward you want to do that project role, then that's great, but you might use them to do it for the first one or two to get that knowledge level. And once you've seen a few mistakes being made, understand how a process works, then go and make the mistakes yourself, feeling a bit more confident that you'll not make the mistakes in the same way as you perhaps would if you didn't know anything about it and you didn't want people to walk all over you.
Okay, thank you. So I love project management and I could talk about this all day, but we should wrap it up there as a short introduction to project management. So your company is Leeding Projects. So if anyone needed a project manager, how would they get in touch?
So I'm on all the usual social media things. I'm on Facebook as Nick Leeding. I'm on Instagram as Nick Leeding 83. I've got my email, nick@leedingprojects.co.uk. The one thing is Leeding is Leeding rather than LEA. So sometimes people get that one a bit mixed up, but that's where you can find me. I don't generally take on projects more than about an hour away from my home, because in reality, you need to be able to deliver that project locally with locally sourced people and things, and that's the best way to be. But I'll always give advice where I can to anyone who may need it.
And where's home?
Cambridgeshire.
Cambridgeshire. Lovely. Thanks, Nick.